Go.
This is the last segment on illegals. I mentioned to you that the plan I have to support the people of Arizona and how to solve the immigration influx into our country. The government that we have today is totally stymied at simple tasks of how to prevent this. So that means, well, it means they don't want to do it. They want this influx for a reason, and I can understand what they're doing very clearly. So here is my plan. It's very, very, very simple. The moratorium on immigration into the United States of America will cease after I give the executive order to cease that, and that will be on the very first day I enter office. I have a whole stack of 35, 45, almost 50 executive orders to run through, and I'll give some of those to you a little later on during some of these quick talks with you. The idea is that I'm also going to give a executive order, which I really don't need to, but I will do that, so we will understand. I'm going to remove all military personnel and equipment from the European campaign. So all through Europe, all of our military people will arrive, come back home to their home and be joined with their family. I don't know the total amount, but I'm assuming there's probably close to 100,000, maybe more, maybe less. They're not important right at the numbers right now because they're all American citizens. What we're going to do with these people is we are going to, when they come home, we'll start rotating them in and out, and they will become part of our fence. The fence, I think I commented to you, is called a fence of wood that John Adams once said years and years ago. And the fence of wood was made of ships made of wood that went along our border. And that's what he wanted to do to the Navy of the United States, which did not exist at that time. We had an army or militiamen, but we didn't have a Navy at that time. But that was his plan. And it's a darn good plan when you start to think of it. So we're going to have the same basic thing. We're going to put our military personnel along our border. And I'm talking about a military might that is quite powerful when you consider it. I would estimate maybe you put 20, 25,000 military men and women on the border. Now, we will put them very close to the border. You know, back away some, but close to the border. And the one thing that's going to be unique about these people is that I'm going to give an executive order of the rules of engagement. You see, a lot of people have died in America due to criminals entering this country, our country. And we haven't done a darn thing about it. We just allow it to happen. And it's still happening right as I'm speaking to you. Well, the executive order to these men and women on the border will be, if anyone is carrying a weapon of any kind, they will shoot. They will shoot to kill. I'll say that again. We will shoot to kill anyone entering our country with a weapon. You do not enter the United States with weapons unless you intend on using them, and apparently this is what has happened. All right, so this is where the force will be deployed, both north and south of our continent, along the border of Washington and all stretches all across the land. This is our fence that John Adams wanted to put up. And at the same time, we can still utilize that fence, and we will have them build prisons in federal land that we will not have judges turning them loose because jails are full. We will place them to have them serve out some time because we have too many laws being broken, and therefore when a law is broken there is a crime that has been committed, and with that crime there must be a penalty phase. Well, we don't have any more penalty phases in the United States. It's sort of been forgotten because it's inhumane or whatever you want to call it. It will be done. That's the way it's going to be from now on. We're not going to fiddle around anymore. And any more people that think that, Calderon, the president of the country of Mexico, what a despicable person this guy is. Why would a president of his own land, his own people, allow up to almost 30,000 people, maybe that's a little exaggerated, maybe 25,000 people slaughtered, murdered people, his own wonderful people? Now, what president of any country would allow that to stand? He's one. What does that really make him? Where does his money come from? How did he get in power? Did drug money put him there? I don't know. The point is, we won't allow it here. I will protect the American citizens, both domestic and foreign, with quite a bit force as is necessary. And it will not be with pillow fight. It will not be that. Also, we're going to put in, I'm going to extend another executive order. I'm going to extend our waters off our coast. We're going to extend them from 250, 300 miles offshore. I want to protect the shoreline of America. I don't want anyone sneaking up anymore in our country. I don't want our fishing people and our fishing rights in that area to be violated. We will use force there as well to prevent that from occurring. I think that pretty much takes care of this object on the object lesson what I was talking to you about America and its immigration and our lack of immigration. And the next topics I'm going to speak about our farming and our lack of our farming people who are dying away because we're forcing them off their land. I don't want that to happen ever again. So I'll leave that for now, and I thank you very much for listening to me.